You know, one thing that I think a lot of young professionals deal with, it's the idea of imposter syndrome, right? It's this idea that when we walk into a room, do we belong in that room? Does our voice matter? And I'm literally here to tell you and remind you of something, that our voice does matter. Like, authenticity is your power. Every time when you meet an individual, understand that, like Maya Angelou said, they're coming as one person, but they stand as 10,000. There are adversities that they've been through. There are obstacles that they've overcome. They walk into that room with something different. There's a spirit inside of them that you have to get to know. And oftentimes, for many of us as young professionals, we forget that power that we have. Like, there's a story inside of you that's burning, but it only burns as long as we're able to tell it. Like, we have to show up in the room and know that our authentic self is everything that we need to connect with the people that are around us. We also have to know that every room that we walk into, we belong there. We belong there. Like, we can't wait for someone to give us a pass or someone to give us a word to say, now you belong. Your authenticity, your realness, everything that is about you makes you capable of what you're doing. Like, you're already enough. You're sitting in a moment and you're thinking, man, what if I had the title? What if I had the dream together? What if I had the resources? If I had everything put to, if I went to that school, then, if I came from that family background, then I would step up. And the crazy part about it is, the power in your story has already qualified you. Like, you're good right now. And sometimes we need that reminder. Each and every one of us have to kind of bounce off each other and inspire each other to let you know, I hear you, I see you. My word should empower you and your story empowers me. Let us move in community in that way and understand that you have something that I don't have to offer and I have something that might benefit you. Every person that I meet is in some way my superior, and in that way I shall learn from him. Like, let's do this thing together. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about two things. Number one, understand that your voice matters. Show up in your community. Show up the way that you are. Show up with something inside of you that makes sure that every time that you speak, you're speaking on the behalf of the best version of yourself. Like, there's something that calls to you. When I started out, I didn't understand the route that I was going, but I knew the experience of the college student. I knew how it felt to not know what the next step was. The reason why I wrote How to Network in College was to give that misguided student a template, a guide, so that they know that whatever room they walk into, they have everything that they need to make the connections that they need to. And oftentimes what I'm learning is it's not about just making the connections, but it's understanding the power of your own voice. That's it. Your uniqueness, your voice, who you are right now matters. We're at a point in time in our community, in our society, that we need everyone to be vocal at the table. We are no longer at a point where there's someone at the head. I need to hear both my mentee's perspective and my mentor's perspective. I need to come into a room and understand that the conversation will be mutually beneficial. And if we can understand that as millennials, as young people, as leaders, if we can understand that as young professionals, as we build this new world, 2020 has given us something new. And the best thing that we can understand without a doubt is that leadership is not a title. Leadership is the actions that we take. Leadership is not a noun. Leadership is the verb. It's what we're doing. It's how we show up. It's the voice that we use. It's the authenticity that allows us to tell our story in our way. So you ask, what would I say to young professionals who are trying to make the most of 2020, who are trying to make sure that they end this year much better than it started? I'd say this simply. When you show up in the room, know that you belong there. When you show up in the room, know that you belong there. Without a doubt, there is something special. Intuitively, you know exactly what you are supposed to put on the table. Oftentimes, what happens for many of us is that fear overrides faith. The opinions and the criticism of other people begin to come into our heads. It's tough because we always want to be liked. We think that our opinion or what we want to push forward needs to be accepted by everyone. And so the uniqueness of our perspective gets washed away. I challenge you to say this. Let your opinion and your perspective be criticized. Let your opinion and your perspective be looked at under a lens. But bring your very best self to the table. That's how you improve the organization that you're a part of. That's how you improve the companies that you're a part of. That's how you improve as an entrepreneur. That's how you improve as a leader in your community. You show up, you use your voice, and then you use that constructive criticism to get better each and every day. So young leaders, myself included, I have one message for you, and this is it. Take the reins on your own story. Bring authenticity to the table, and never forget the power of your own voice. Without a doubt, 2020 is a year of growth. Without a doubt, 2020 is the year of change. Without a doubt, 2020 is the year of adversity and opportunity. Without a doubt, 2020 is the year of transformation. Without a doubt, 2020 is the year that allows us to choose and decide how we are going to grow, how we're going to step into the new version of ourselves. Without a doubt, 2020 has given us the opportunity to choose. As young professionals here in the beautiful city of Sacramento, how do we do that? Number one, without a doubt, reignite the dream. Like we've lost the fire that we used to have because we've been hit in the head with adversity over and over again. Obstacles keep coming from the left and from the right. So what do we have to do first? We have to reignite the dream. What does that simply mean? That means you have to fall in love again with why it is you do what you do. Without a doubt, you have to literally step into the room and ask yourself the question, not only is why am I doing what I'm doing, but who is this work affecting? Who is it for? Like if I'm putting forth value that is allowing other people to gain and acknowledge the resources that I am, then how exactly am I showing up into the room? Who is counting on me to be the best version of myself? Me as a speaker, one of the things that I'm realizing without a doubt is that it is no longer about me. Someone needs a positive word. Someone is going through a tough time and needs some energy to say, Isaac, come get me real quick. Just give me a little push because what I've gone through, no one can comprehend. What I'm going through right now, I don't know. I just don't have my mindset together. Like I think I have it, but I really don't have it. Can you just let me know everything is going to be good? And for me, my purpose is I got you. Let me say one word that can sit in your spirit that lets you know today might be difficult, but tomorrow can be better. Let me let you know that I know adversity is in your pathway, but the fire inside of you will always be stronger than the fire outside of you. Let me remind you that you've overcome some things that you haven't even told people. Your journey is crazy. We all have the story. So what we need to do in 2020, step one, reignite the dream. Understand why you do what you do and never forget that. Never forget that. Without a doubt, dream, D is for desire and R is for resilience and E is for excellence and A is for ambition and M is for motivation because this is how we dream, but we dream big. B-I-G, believe in greatness. Always believe in your greatness. Number two, the second thing that we have to do as we're tackling the year 2020 to step into the very best version of ourselves is we have to reconnect to our purpose. We have to reconnect to our purpose in a way that we've never done before. We have to ask the difficult questions that might have us sitting by ourselves in a room writing down, why am I moving in this way? Because if you don't reconnect to your purpose, what often happens is once adversity hits you, you shatter. The truth is, if you don't reconnect to your purpose, the thing that drives you, the thing that's underneath, the thing that is literally the base of everything that you do, if you don't connect to that, once adversity hits you, you crumble. I'm reminded of the giant sequoia. Standing at over 250 feet tall, 30 feet in diameter, it stands as the tallest tree in the world. And what's most amazing about the giant sequoia is that it needs fire to grow. The fire doesn't burn the sequoia down. The fire literally builds the sequoia up. Come on. The fire builds the sequoia up. Meaning that literally the sequoia is looking for the fire to become the best version of itself. The fire's steam opens up the pine cones, allowing for the seeds to be planted into fertile ground. I'm not talking about a sequoia tree, I'm talking about you. You literally need the things that you go through to become the best version of yourself. So the next time you see something and it's difficult for you, tell the world thank you. It's literally trying to build you up to be the very best version of you. No challenge, no growth. The next time you have a challenge, no growth. 2020 is all about challenge. Therefore, it's all about growth. Last but not least, the first thing that we have to do is we have to reignite the dream. The second thing that we have to do is we have to reconnect to the purpose. And last but not least, we have to never forget that we can redefine our story. What is a story? A story is the thing that you walk into a room with that defines you past who you are. A story is what reminds me of Maya Angelou's quote when she says, "I come as one person, but I stand as 10,000. A story is something that lets me know not just who you are as a person, but the spirit that's inside of you. The thing that lets other people know that you resonate with something that's different. You're different. Your story, your family, what you come from, what you've overcome, why you do the work that you do, what you're connected to." When we reconnect with our purpose and then redefine our story, something amazing happens. Number one is that we absolutely remember that our voice matters. Like, I don't care if your voice shakes, speak up. I don't care if you're thinking about, speak up. 2020 has put us all in a position where you don't have to be a leader to be a leader. You don't have to have a title to do the right thing. You don't have to have the title, but you do have to do the action. There are people who are counting on each and every one of us. I like to call it authentic leadership. Be yourself in that room. We need you. We need you. Sacramento leaders, we need you. Leaders, we need you. We're looking for leaders. We need you. Something different happens within each and every one of us when it's not, I could do this thing, but we need you. People are looking for you to step up. So my question to you is, what is your strength? What is your talent? What is your gift? What is your strength? What is your talent? What is your gift? And are you pouring that into everyone around you? What is your strength? What is your talent? What is your gift? My strength and my talent and my gift is to inform the mind and inspire the hearts of the people that are around me. I've been given this gift, so I use it wisely. I know that there will be days when people literally speak words of life into me. So I want to do the same thing as the good book says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. So make sure that we know that our words are powerful. When I talk about your voice, and when I talk about redefine your story, I'm simply saying this. Every single one of us has something that we can give. And it's through the telling of our story that allows us to deeply connect with the people that are around us. It's no longer just about networking exchange, it's about a deep connection. It's about literally knowing your story, knowing where you come from. And every time I tell my story and I tell I'm the youngest of 7 and what my parents have gone through to get me here, I always meet 1, 2, 3, a couple people who say, I know that story. I'm the son of an immigrant. I know that story. I know where you're coming from. And that's the basis of our relationship. So we have to understand that there's power in telling our real story. Don't be afraid of telling your personal story in a professional setting. That's where the real connection comes from. So if I could leave you with the challenge, it's simply this. Share your story. Figure out the format that you want to do it, whether it's online on LinkedIn, an article, or maybe you want to get people together and start working on it. I promise you this. When you're talking about networking, the first thing that you have to do is absolutely build a relationship with self. The best way to build a relationship with self is to get in touch with your intimate story, who you are. And as we tell that story, we grow personally and professionally. We allow other people to get an inside look into who we are. They understand our perspective, our mindset, and then we can connect in a real and authentic way. So the first challenge I have to you is to tell your story. The second thing that I would say, without a doubt, is to put on your schedule the idea of connecting with other people. Like, make it real. Hey, Thursdays from 3 to 5, this is what I do, I network. Hey, on Friday from noon to 2, this is what I do, I network. Reach out to 3 to 5 people who aren't in your vicinity, aren't in your circle. It could be through Instagram, it could be through LinkedIn, it could be through Facebook, it could be through email, it could be through whatever you want to do. Now the ability to connect doesn't have to be always in a professional setting. You have to put the onus on your shoulders to say, you know what, I'm going to go out and reach out and connect with new people. That's what leaders do, right? So the first thing that we have to do is share our story. The second thing that we have to do is literally figure out how to put a plan together and put it on our schedule to connect. And last but not least, just remember that your voice matters. Remember that everything that you have to share is worth something. Imposter syndrome is real. We all battle it. Oftentimes, we'll step up and we don't think that what we have to say matters. I'm just here to remind you it matters, without a doubt. Reignite the dream. Reconnect to your purpose. Redefine your story. Inform the mind, inspire the heart.